Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. Well, yes, I've got my mic literally strapped to my mouth today. This was a plan B. So, ladies and gents, how are you? How were you? How's your week been? As always, my week has been incredibly busy, but that's good because it's taken me to where I want to get to. And also, as you know, this is International Women's Day, or maybe it's tomorrow, and we're going to have a show of celebration, celebrating women. And yes, men, you are also going to get your chance in June when it's Father's Day. We'll make it a month of celebration. So thank you for joining me on the sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. You know, technology is an incredible thing, isn't it? Because I thought that I can get rid of this background for today, and I left it to the last minute, and I've logged on and I can't get rid of it. But it's just showcasing those artists who are going to be joining me on the sofa this evening. And so on this evening on my show, I have another stellar lineup of artists. In the first half, I got Lorraine Silver, the Northern Soul legend, and I was doing my briefing around Northern Soul, and it hails from Motown or the influence of Motown. So I'm looking forward to that. And then in the second half, I will be talking to the Slegendary Sister Sledge. So we've got lots to look forward to. And in between that, this half of this part of the show, I will be talking to Trey Ann. You remember Trey Ann from Inside Out Lifestyles, who's going to be giving us 5 or 10 minutes of, I know I should have sorted this out before, who's going to be giving us 5 or 10 minutes of healthy motivation. And then in the second part, I'm going to be talking to Lavinia Osborne, who's going to be talking about our wealth and financial mastery, our wealth and financial well-being. Because for me, life is about looking at and dealing with and managing your physical, your mental, your spiritual, and your emotional, but also your financial well-being. As we know, a lot of us are getting older and we just want to have a nice, is it nest egg or egg nest at the end of the road, and also to leave something for our children and family. Okay, right. I know I'm going to get told off for this. I should have done this before my headphones. Anyway, ladies and gents, just want to say thank you for joining me. This show is going to be streaming live on the server with Esther and also on LN Soul Radio. So you've got a choice of the two this evening. And as I said before, we will be celebrating International Women's Day, but I've made it into a month. And this month, I will be speaking to a plethora, do you like that word, of female artists. And I guess for me, this whole thing of International Women's Month, I'm not an activist, but I can be outspoken. And I was thinking, what does International Women's Month really mean to me? And I'd like to ask you, what does International Women's Month mean to you? It's a celebration of women and their successes and their achievements, but also I believe it's a time for us to come together in unity, to look at ourselves, to just do a total detox of who are we at our core? Who are we at our core? You know, we can be going out there and championing many different causes, but I always like to suggest don't forget to champion your own cause. Look at the man in your mirror. And as you notice today, talk about that. I'm topped up with crystals today. Wonderful crystals. They're wonderfully protective, but also I think they're quite stylish, don't you think? Anyway, on that note, I'm going to go over to playing a little bit of music. You know, I'm on the radio, but also I'm doing a Facebook Live, and it works slightly differently from doing the radio because on the radio you're behind the scenes. You can be doing 1,000 things as you're talking into the mic, and also how to fill the space without sort of looking like you're trying to find things to read and fill the space with. So I'm going to play a little bit of music, and I thought I'll tempt you and tease you with something that sort of represents how I'm feeling, and I hope how you are feeling at this moment in time, and just a little bit of Jill Scott. And then I'm going to play a little bit from Lorraine Silver. And that track's going to be, let's see what she played, The Best Time of My Life. So this is one of my favorites from Jill Scott. Okay, can you hear that? I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my next guest is currently in the studio with me, wonderful Lorraine Silver. Putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go. Okay, so this is Golden by Jill Scott, and it's just simply to say, as we enter into this this next 2 hours, as we enter into celebrating International Women's Month, just look at your life as if it's golden. And over the next couple of hours with me, we're going to be talking to some incredible women whose lives are golden, who have fulfilled some incredible dreams. And as I said, the first guest is going to be Lorraine Silver, a Northern Soul lass, as they say. And you're listening to Esther on the sofa with Esther.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's yours truly, Jason Derulo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Hudson. 24 hours a day. LN Soul Radio, the internet radio station where Neo Soul lives.
Okay, and now we're just gonna tap into a little bit of Lorraine Silver, my next talking to. Lorraine.
Standing at the intersection, wondering which way to turn, thinking when will my heart ever learn, keeping the wheels on the track. Honey, tell me, do I take you back, or do I move around? Or you said I was the one, I let you down, and you were gone. I'm at the crossroads of my life, so why does it cut like a knife? Standing at the intersection, stepping in the wrong direction. Standing at the intersection, should I look left? Should I look right?
Okay, so this is Standing at the Intersection by my next guest. I can see her. She's live. Lorraine. Hello, can you hear me, Lorraine? You're quite faint. Are you? I can really hear you. Yes, just about. I'm going to turn down the music a little bit more. Okay, Lorraine. Yes, I can hear you. So can you, Lorraine?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yes, yes. Well, ladies and gents, this is a real pleasure, a real privilege, a real pleasure. I'm talking to a legend, Northern Soul artist, Northern Soul legend, Lorraine Silver. Lorraine, hello, looking very sexy and sassy tonight.
Well, I've tried. I know you can just see it there, can't you? So, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're like me, but I got my PJs on below and my fluffy slippers.
I'm not letting anything on. I'm just sitting still.
Oh, Lorraine, well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Been looking forward to this conversation for quite a while, and thank you to Barry for presenting you as well. Thank you. And Lorraine, I usually like to ask my guests, and I'm going to ask you this question as well. Who is Lorraine in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or maybe a coconut?
Oh, goodness. A lot of my friends could probably answer that one better than me. Who is Lorraine? Somebody, I think, from a very young age who wanted to sing, to act, to be out there, to feel to be someone. Yeah, so I've been very lucky in my life. Yes, and obviously I'm a grandma.
Ah, hello, Grandma. Is it recent?
I've got a little grandson of 8 and a little granddaughter of 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're a big part of my life as well. I think I've got lots of hats, basically.
Mm,
It's like going
mm,
through the smoke sometimes, I think. The professional hat,
mm,
private hat, yeah, the grandma hat.
mm. But that's what makes life so sort of eclectic and exciting, isn't it? Because then it's about diversification. That sounds a very long word, peeps. Um,
Yeah.
but then you said something quite interesting there when you said, when you were coming through life, it was about being noticed, I think, if I remember correctly, being seen.
Yeah,
What did you
yeah. Well, I just think some people in life, like say for big celebrations, big birthdays, they just want to sort of step away from, the limelight and just do it quietly. I believe in anything big in your life, you need to celebrate life, basically.
mm,
I've always wanted to celebrate life. I'm always happy when I'm singing, when I'm performing, meeting people. I love meeting people, chatting
mm.
to fans along the way. Yeah, just being out there, really.
Mm.
So I think
So how have you managed with the lockdown, Lorraine? Because you seem to be this ball of fire that just wants to get out there and do things. So
do
how
that.
have you managed?
Well, we've all had to cope, haven't we? We've all had to
Mm,
cope. How have I managed? Um, Singing to myself, really, I think. Trying to
mm,
get up and singing. Um, Very, very difficult, really, because the frustration of not being able to do the shows that were scheduled.
mm.
It's been very frustrating. But I think I've learned to appreciate nature more, like a lot of people.
Yes.
Walking my feet off,
Mm,
again, what a lot of people have been doing. And
mm.
just, I think the days have gone quick, strangely
They have.
enough. They have, yeah. And just always looking forward to hopefully better, healthier times ahead and getting back on
Mm.
stage again.
Excellent, excellent. So what I'm going to do now, Lorraine, I'm just going to take you back a little bit, take you back. Because you first had one of your hits, I should say, at the age of 13. Um,
Well,
13, and that song has followed you to where you are now and the success that you've had behind it. And when I was reading your brief, it talked about you going into Woolworths. And Woolworths, can you remember? Do you all remember Woolworths? Imagine that.
a long time ago. Well, it wasn't a hit. That was the thing. It was 1965. I take you right back. Yeah, I was 13 years old. And again, at 13, I knew I wanted to be a singer. And yeah,
Mm,
slightly different to what it is now. You didn't have the X Factors or the Britain's Got Talent sort of thing. And
mm.
I was a 13-year-old schoolgirl, and I went up to London with a friend. And yes, Woolworths in Oxford Street. In those days, I don't know if anybody remembers, they had booths that you went
Yes,
into,
I did.
you put shillings in the slot, and you could record, sing, whatever, speak, and acetate. And I went in there and I sang Brian Hyland's Sealed with a Kiss, sang my heart out, produced this acetate. And then I knew at the time there was the big Pi recording studios up the road in Marble Arch.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I did it. When I think back now, but I did. I walked in there up to the reception with this record in a brown paper bag. And I said, would somebody like to listen to this? I've just been into Woolworths. They took my name, my address, and 8 weeks later, I got a
Mm,
letter in the post saying they were really impressed with what they heard. Would I come up for an audition? I mean, my God, would I? I've still
mm,
got letters to this day. And I went up with my dad because I had to be accompanied, and
mhm.
I auditioned for them. And from that audition, I got a 2-year recording contract. That's
Fantastic.
I mean, you can imagine, 13 years old.
But where did you find the courage? I mean, was this a burning desire from a young age to want to be successful, to want to sing in front of
Well,
an audience?
yeah, I think it was a burning desire from when I was really little. I was one of these kids, and I never had pushy parents. I never went to stage school, nothing like that at all. But I always
Mm,
wanted to perform. I can really remember when I was very young, I used to stand on a table and perform for the family. My family will remember that. So I've always wanted to do it, either sing or act. That was
mm,
so I think it's in you from a very young age, I think. Uh,
mm. But to have the courage, you had the courage to not only go into a booth and record something, but then to send it off. That is courage in itself. And I surmise that your parents obviously supported you with your that dream and vision at that age.
Yeah, they did. My dad was really supportive. In fact, when I actually recorded, I recorded 4 tracks at the time. So there was two discs, A and a B side in those days, and we did it all in one night. And there's only 13, remember. Obviously, live orchestra in those days, the whole bit. I mean, it was the most exciting time, and I can remember it distinctly. They actually thought I was going to have big hits, following on from Petula Clark's success, because my arranger in those days was Johnny Harris, and he was responsible for the Petula Clark hits. So the tracks were really big British pop sound. But it was quite short-lived, really, because at the time I was allotted a manager, and he had a big #1 hit with the Overlanders, Michelle, the Beatles. And of course, once that got to #1, all the stuff that was meant to be for me, Ready, Steady, Go, I was promised, all sorts, was sort of pushed to one side. So there was only ever 500 copies pressed up. Lots of love. So, but it wasn't a hit. That's the thing.
But at least you still had the tenacity to want to move forward, to drive it forward. And how did you deal with rejection in inverted brackets at that time? Because you as a teenager, you at that time you're going through your hormones. There's lots going on. There's the excitement of being seen and being for your recording. So how did you experience rejection, or did you see it as rejection at all?
Well, not really, because it was still really exciting. I did a lot. I mean, in the sort of year that I was under the contract, I did a lot for Radio Luxembourg. I had to go in London, and I had my own 15-minute show for Radio Luxembourg. I did, I did Ready Steady Radio. Now, this was interesting, from the Marquee Club in London with Lulu, because she just had a big hit.
Oh, Lulu.
I know. I literally had to be on stage for radio, but mime to the record, which was quite interesting. So there was a lot going on. So it was a slow decline, I suppose, and I had a lot of publicity. I was in a lot of national press at my age to get the recording contract. And then I obviously had to go back to schoolwork, and it's sort of like a gradual, but I still had that burning ambition to want to sing. And I'd kept the scrapbook from those days all my life. And of course, all my family had copies of my record.
Excellent.
And, it became like a thing. Come on, Lorraine, get out your scrapbook. Let's laugh though now, if we're moving forward. In my 20s, I went on the cabaret circuit. I was lucky enough to get an audition for New Faces. In the 70s, I went on there. But of course, I went under my married name, so nobody would have known Lorraine Silver from and I did the cabaret circuit. And then in the 70s, I did Pub Entertainer of the Year. I wasn't really a pub singer, but I did all that under my married name. So I carried on singing. So I've never really gave it up. And then in the 80s, I started singing with 2 of my bestie friends. And we had a girl trio called Mixed Feelings. And we did a cappella stuff. We did theatre gigs and everything, but it was a totally different movement from what I'm coming into now.
Yes.
And it all really kicked off when I found out in the 80s that this record that I had made in 1965 had become massive on the Northern Soul scene, and it got re-released in 1978 and 30,000 copies that I knew.
Wow.
Until the mid-80s.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what to you keeps you going, keeps you wanting to, because you're almost like you're reinventing yourself. So my dog is here. Having a dog is like having a baby. He was here last week as well. I was going to try and send him for a walk. But what to you has kept the passion of music, especially being in the industry? And it's almost as if you're making a comeback, Lorraine.
Yeah, because I mean, since the mid-80s, I think there's been different chapters in my life. As I said, because I've always wanted to sing, every chapter that I've done, I enjoyed doing what I did in the 70s. It was different
Mm.
singing, but it was still singing, still performing. Then again in the 80s with my two friends,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
again it was singing, which I loved doing, performing, meeting people. But this chapter, this last chapter,
Mm.
it's got to be the icing on the cake, really, because from out of nowhere, I found that I've got this massive fan base in the Northern Soul. Yeah,
Excellent, excellent.
soul scenes.
And
Yeah, it's wonderful.
you can see that you really enjoy what you do. What is it about Northern Soul? I mean, Northern Soul music seems to be in a category of its own. And I know it was influenced by Motown. What is the pull for you around that sort of genre of music?
Well, it's really weird because obviously when I in the 60s, it wasn't Northern Soul. It was early Motown,
Mm,
soul, R&B, and it was all the music that I loved. That was my music. When I was a teenager, I loved all that music. And then it turned out that my record fit into that genre. It was beat, the actual early Motown sound. Uh,
mm,
but it's almost like everything's become full circle, really. Finding out that the record actually fit in that niche,
mm,
it's quite bizarre, and I really had to get my head around it. When I met all the DJs originally, they didn't know who, they didn't have a face to the name. They had
mm.
this record that they had found, probably picked it up, secondhand junk shops, like the going through records, unknown, because Northern Soul is a lot about unknown artists,
Mm.
music fitting into the genre. So then they suddenly found out that I was a 13-year-old schoolgirl when I'd made the record. And I can remember the first time I went to a Northern Soul all-nighter, uh, I was invited there by the DJs. It was the 30th anniversary of the Wigan Casino, which is where the record was massive. And they said to me, you want to go on stage and just mime over the track and see the reaction. And I said, really? Because I had no idea. I did that. I got up on stage and I cannot tell you the adulation. It was almost like, had somebody come on stage behind me? What's going on? All they wanted to do was hold my hand and touch me. And then I was signing autographs for about 2-3 hours afterwards. And that was the start of it.
And how have you managed to keep yourself, I would say, grounded with all this adulation? I mean, it and it must be quite overwhelming, but it must be quite exciting. And then it must be so many different things all in one, Lorraine. So
It's,
how have you managed to keep that grounded? And even with the excitement, I mean, I can't imagine going on stage and having so many people just focused on one person for a length of time. But then you also know that you're giving back.
mm, I'm very grounded. I'm a very grounded person. I am. It's like, again, the different hats, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have my performing hats and I have my family hats.
Mm,
But the actual performing, I just love the feeling of being on a stage and entertaining people, and just the feeling of singing. It comes from there. Right,
mm.
you see that right there?
Yeah, they're right there. Yeah,
That's
let's all point. Let's all point.
yeah, that is the point. Yeah. So, but I'm a very grounded person apart from that. But I do love the actual performing. I'm
Mm.
really lucky because over the last, I suppose, 10 years, I've been lucky to tour with Edwin Starr's original band.
Oh,
With,
yes.
yeah, with Angelo, his brother,
Mm.
is totally amazing. And now this year, please, this year, it was meant to be last year, but please, this year, now going into next year, I'm going to be special guesting with the Signatures, who are
Oh,
the
excellent.
#1 Northern Soul band in the country. They are amazing. So I'm very lucky to be special guesting with them. And we've got, I think we've got over 20 gigs coming up.
Mm.
Which I'm
Well,
really,
fingers crossed that,
oh my God.
with the opening up of the world,
Oh my goodness.
fingers crossed, eyes crossed, everything crossed, boss side.
No,
That
everything else, because I can't tell you these gigs, along with every other performer in the country, our particular gigs, I think they've been rescheduled 3 times now.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's the sign of the times. But the beauty of all this, Lorraine, and what I'm hearing from you is that you still have that hope, you still have that passion for what you do, and you are ready. You are ready, and I can see that. I can see that.
And age has, and the great thing about it is because obviously getting on a bit, but
just a tad.
It grows up with you. And I was lucky; I was very young when I first recorded the track. And age has no barrier, especially Northern Soul music doesn't. So I'm very lucky that I'm still able to perform now, really. So all my dreams coming true at this stage in my life is a plus plus. Really,
Excellent.
really.
Excellent. And Lorraine, can you tell me some artists? I forgot to do something. Can you share some artists who, other than you said you've toured with the Edwin Starr's band, and also you mentioned briefly about Lulu. Can you tell me some other artists who you've worked with who've inspired you as well?
Oh my goodness, I've been inspired by so many people. We used to go up to the Caister weekends. So many, so many Northern Soul artists that my other half, my hubby, Barry Collins, I mean, he's been an agent since birth, really. And he used to trace all these obscure artists that were so massive on the Northern Soul scene. So I've been very lucky to work with so many of them, really.
And you touched on Lulu, if I can go there a little. What was it like?
Time ago, yeah.
All that. What was it like, being around Lulu?
I didn't really actually get to, all I can remember is we had like dressing rooms next to each other, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to her. She came on with her song, and then I came on and did my song for the same show. And we were very young when she was only 15 as well. So I didn't actually really get to have a good chat with her at the time. And she's still going. She's great.
She is. She's and every time you look at her, she seems to be, she's maintained a certain look. She just seems to be immortalized.
Oh gosh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She'll always be a couple of years older than me, so that's good as well.
Yeah.
And
I guess coming up to the present, I really should have sorted my headphones out. This hairstyle looks great, but the headphones. I'm really trying to sort of, be.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just do a bit of modeling around it so it's not so obvious I'm trying to keep the things on my head.
I can hear you.
Lorraine, sort of coming forward now after all these years, and what is it that you ultimately would like to, where would you like to take your music? Where would you like to go with life? Because I know you said that you love people, you're passionate about music, you're passionate about life. So where else for Lorraine Silver?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm hoping to go back into the studio again with the wonderful Ian Levine. Anybody on the Northern Soul scene will know the great Ian Levine. He is like the godfather of Northern Soul. And he produced, you played before, didn't you, Standing at the Intersection?
I did, yes.
And the other side of that, he produced both of those a couple of years ago. And he wants to get me into the studio again. So hopefully when we're all let loose, I can do that. The thing is with the Northern Soul scene, I only found out last week that Lost Summer Love has been re-released again.
Oh, wow.
On a double A side with Jackie Trent, You Baby, as a double A side. So that's, I know. And people that want vinyl again, because I mean, there were only ever 500 copies of my original Pie release. If anyone's got a copy of that, I know it has fetched over £400 or £500 on eBay. So yeah, it's rare. Yeah, it's rare. Who would have known? My family were using it as tea coasters for a while. I think they regret that now, and they know it's worth money, but that's another story. But yeah, so that got re-released again in December, that I found out last week. So I think there's always something happening. So as long as I can still perform, and as I say, I've got about over 20 gigs with the signatures, and still a few with Edwin's band as well. I'm happy. That keeps me happy. Yeah. Doing theatre
And
festivals. Yeah.
And Lorraine, what piece of advice would you give to artists? I love to ask this question because it's always interesting to get the different answers from different artists. But what would you say to artists who really have that dream and they really want to get out there? What are the, I would say, 3 attributes that you feel they need to have to make it in the industry?
Well, it's hard. It's hard because there is so much talent out there.
Absolutely.
Never ever gets noticed. That to me is really, really sad. You've got to have a lot of patience, and you've got the groundwork. You've got to work. Instant success sometimes is just a 5-minute wonder. I think the good artists have worked before they actually make it. Positivity, I suppose, is the answer. If an artist can, keep going, and reimagine themselves, I suppose that it's in good stead. It's a really hard business. It really, really is. A lot of it, luck. The old saying, being in the right place, right time. At
the right time.
It's an old quote, but I think it's so true.
Yeah.
But a lot of talent never gets noticed, and that is sad, really. But that's the way. It's the way of the world.
But I guess now with the different social media platforms, artists are finding different and new ways to put their music out. Because I'm discovering lots of different. I mean, there's obviously you've got Spotify, you've got Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and it just gives those wannabes. Because I was on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and there's a guy that had put out a track, and I've noticed him for a few months, and there was a message to say, "Oh, somebody just please listen to my stuff." And like you said, it is difficult, and there is a lot of competition. But there's also lots of different platforms, and I think that's even TikTok. I mean, you've got TikTok.
There's so many platforms nowadays. Oh my gosh, when I first started out in the mid-60s, there was nothing. Still had people sending letters and whatever. No, there was nothing, was there really? Nothing like even emails, text, nothing. It was a phone, put a stamp on a letter.
Yes. What's a letter? What's a letter now? But you need a post box for that.
So I think, nowadays, especially YouTube, I mean, a lot of artists are getting through YouTube, just building. So I mean, that is great. That is great.
Well, what I'd like to do now, Lorraine, I really should have put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing.
I've taken mine off, actually. I can't see much, but yeah.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a little bit of the best time of my life. And then I'd like to talk to you about that. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to Lorraine Silver, and this is the best time of my life. You sway to the same way as me, but we're in sync, Lorraine.
And I never want to make you stop. Don't give me reason to declare it's a game. If you build me up, we'll shift from the pain. My friends, they want me.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you that you are listening on the sofa with myself, truly, Esther Austin, on LN Soul Radio, where Neo Soul and R&B live.
Who cares if people talk when you're giving me the time of my life?
My guest today is Lorraine Silver, who is a soul legend.
When you're giving me the time of my life, the best time of my life.
Well, Lorraine, I'm going to keep that playing in the background. So just share a little bit about this track. And I'm just going to adjust my headpiece. I can't hear you now. I'm going to have to just turn it off.
A lot of the DJs like this side to the other side. So it's like a double A side. But I like singing this sort of stuff as well. It's really laid back. cool groove.
And bouncy. And I guess for now, especially these times, we need music that's bouncy. We need I say bouncy because it's got that nice bounce to it. I think music just generally it speaks to the different parts of us. It speaks to the different emotions within us, and in a sense, it's speaking to the different times as well. I know I sound a bit sort of philosophical here, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I do. Well, listen, I think music in general is so important for everybody's well-being. That's been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, my lovely mum was in a care home, and she had Alzheimer's, and she couldn't remember what she'd done 5 minutes ago. But put an entertainer on stage, all the words to all the old songs.
Oh wow!
That's what music does to the brain, and I think no matter what age you are. If you're like my little granddaughter who likes to sing, that's I think music is just a very, very important outlet, especially in these times.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It is. And I guess in sort of winding down, Lorraine, where to now? I mean, I think I've asked you that in a slightly different way, but where to now? Because once we open up, then you're looking to perform and go back into the studio. You know, if you were to take your dream and your vision and put it someplace, what would that be?
Oh goodness, because I feel I've achieved so much, really, that my dream as a child to even reach this point has come true for me. I really think just to be able to really carry on doing what I'm doing now. I mean, the audiences, I mean, quite incredible. I still get very overwhelmed, especially when we go up north. I mean, the fan base, they know the words to Lost Summer Love, and I sing a song at the end called Long After Tonight Is All Over. Song, and that at the Wigan Casino was always one of the last 3 they ever played, and every week. And for a lot of people, or I'd say majority of people that used to go to Wigan, that song is like, it is an anthem. I love it. It is a ballad. And when I sing that and I look at the audience, and they've all got their phones and they're doing all in my head, I'm singing it and feeling it and still thinking, oh my God, it's incredible. Long as I can still do that,
I'd be happy.
Really am, yeah, really am. I can't wait to get back on stage again with the great signatures. I really can't, honestly. We've got to go back and rehearse a bit.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, in a way, sort of taking a step backwards, beginning again, sort of back into it again.
But that must be quite exciting, though, isn't it?
Emotional. We'll all be so emotional, but so exciting, really exciting. Maybe even for the gigs, we'll have to let you know. You check
most definitely, Barry.
We'll have a chat. Yeah, definitely.
On the side. And I guess the really last question, because I feel I can keep you here for a little longer, but the really last question is, we are celebrating International Women's Day, but I've made it into a month. I'm going to expand it for as long as I can. And what would you say? What is your take on? I mean, I guess every woman has their take on, you know, what International Women's Month means to them. It's a portal of celebration and, you know, celebrating the achievements and successes of women. But to you, does it mean anything to you? Does it resonate in any way? And if so, why?
Oh goodness, well, I really do think that women in general, I think we obviously do play such an important part. I mean, I work with Barry as well, and to have a woman's opinion as well so important, because I think we do see things in a slightly different way to men.
Yeah,
we as women have insight. And I think obviously in recent years women have become much more acknowledged.
Yeah,
I think it's so important. You know, we're obviously we're more equal nowadays, and quite rightly so. I think, yeah, men do to women much more now. I don't know if a lot of men are listening now and going, no, we don't. But
Got
no,
all getting hate mail and stuff, aren't we?
I know. But yeah, I think it is far more equal nowadays, and yeah, it should be. It should be.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to Lorraine Silver, the Northern Soul legend, and it's been a real pleasure, Lorraine. I really like your essence. There is a groundedness to you. So when I asked you that question, part of me was saying, well, silly question, but I asked it anyway because I do know that for a lot of artists, staying grounded in the industry it can be a challenge, and you can often see why. And also for me, the vision of a 13-year-old just having this dream and having the courage and the tenacity to go into Woolworths. I just love it when I mention Woolworths. It's just so nostalgic. Oh, this headphones. Yeah, going into Woolworths, that's like the red telephone boxes.
Yes, I remember that day so well. It changed my life. It did change my life, which is quite.
But just having the courage to do something that has changed your life, and all these years later now, it's almost like it's just coming back to play a bigger part in your life. It was almost like that was your signature track tune, trophy.
Yes. I suppose if you ask me about my one regret, I would say I hear all the stories now about all the people that went up to Wigan in the 70s when it was like that, the heyday of Wigan, when they were playing my record there. And of course, that part of my life I didn't know about. So when I hear all the stories, I was wondering what it would have been like if they had known about me at the time, what it would have been like. Would it? I don't know. Maybe there's more of a mystery now because I wasn't able to perform live then because nobody knew who I was then. It was just a record. So it's strange how life takes pathways, isn't it? Really.
Goes in a cycle though. They talk about either there's the infinity sign where life just goes round and round, or as they said in The Lion King, the circle of life. And so either way, whether you've got the infinity sign, it just goes round and it comes back round, and the circle of life, it goes round and comes round. And that's what I'm really seeing for you. And what's really nice is you still have that, you can see the joy in you around this. It's almost as if you're a kid in a candy store, and it's almost like, okay, when lockdown's finished, then I'm going to dive into that candy box and I'm just going to go start living again, but I'm going to create music, I'm going to sing, and I'm going to dance, and I'm going to enjoy. And you feel very much like a woman who's got everything, and everything doesn't have to be the external stuff, but you know what I mean, Lorraine?
I do, yes, I do. I'm so, I'm bursting to go.
Yeah.
It's always been the love of my life. So I suppose, not to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Really, really tough. So yes, bring it on is what I say. You're never too
Absolutely.
never too old to live the dream. Really.
Absolutely. Well, Lorraine, I did say 10 minutes ago that I was going to let you go.
I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. That's our great.
I'm going to have to do this, do like a Dalek sort of thing with this. There we go. Look a bit like Darth Vader, don't I? It's the glasses and the mic. I mean, I had this problem last week and I should have sorted it this week, but never mind. We can be playful with this. But Lorraine, I'd just like to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the journey. Thank you so much for your music and just for being you. It's just been a nice, light and wonderful interview. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I've been talking to Lorraine Silver.
Thank you, Esther. It's been
lovely. Thank you. All right. And say hello to Barry. Hi, Barry.
I'll get you those. We'll talk.
Okay, we will do. All right. Bless you. Bye-bye. Okay, ladies and gents, so that was Lorraine Silver. And, I love what I do because I get to talk to incredible people and I'm inspired by these incredible people. And there she goes. That was really good. I love that movement, Lorraine.
I'll be back. I can come back.
All we've got to do is just end the video. We can't see you then. but yes, I love what I do. And even though sometimes we may have certain challenges in between that, like the mic and stuff like that, you know, listening to other people's journeys, listening to other people and how they perceive life, how they've experienced life, always inspires some part of me, some aspect of me. And I'm also now looking forward to talking to the Slegendary Sister Sledge. It's going to be Debbie, it's going to be her daughter Camille, and also a their long time singer and friend Tanya, what's her name? Tourette or Tibet. Sorry about that. So I've got that to look forward to on the other side of 9. And hopefully I will be talking to, I can't even remember her name, what a day. I'll be talking to the lady who's going to talk about health and wealth and motivation. So there are 2 women, Trey Ann, that's it, having another senior moment, people. So I'll be talking to Trey Ann very soon about health and well-being, especially in these times. We need to keep our health and well-being topped up, and especially now that we're coming into or out of lockdown, but coming into spring and then summer. You want to be looking good, you want to be feeling good, you want to be at your peak, especially after the year that we have had. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is nearly 8:45, and I'm going to play some music. I'm going to play another track, hopefully by Lorraine. And this one, if I can find it, is actually called Lost Summer Love. So this is Lost Summer Love by Lorraine Silver.
Nothing is left of the dreams we started now. All I can see is lonely memories of lost summer, Remember the surfing and the life and sun.
Okay, so ladies and gents, hopefully you can leave some messages on Facebook for me. I'm streaming live on the Sofa with Esther on Facebook, and also this is being streamed live at LN Soul Radio. Okay, just lower that for a bit. So once again, this show is being streamed live on LN Soul Radio, and it's going to be showing up in a totally different format because Anthony B. Williams has put together the show into a really nice, snazzy format. I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. So head over to LN Soul Radio if you want to see this in stereo. But I'm also streaming this to my page on the Sofa with Esther, and hopefully it's going out over the radio at www.lnsoulradio.com. And as I said, my guest on the other side is the Slegendary Sister Sledge. But in between that, let's have a discussion, peeps. Let's have a discussion about International Women's Day. Just put in on the Facebook page, what does International Women's Month mean to you, if anything? So just put your comments there. And I'm just going to play another ad.
Are you ready?
Check out LN Soul Radio's website, where you can get the latest news, the best radio and TV shows, hot interviews, and the best presenters around. On www.lnsoulradio.com. Check it out now.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you. Hands.
Face.
Space. As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
The winter issue of Turning Point, your lifestyle, your well-being magazine. Coming through COVID, a Caribbean expose is out now. Your international luxury lifestyle magazine in print and digital format. Visit www.turningpointmag.com or call Esther Austin on 07534 508919.
Visit Cole's Art Gallery in London, located in Leicester Square. Exquisite, unique, and original Cuban art for sale, including the introduction of South London's best-kept secret, John Jew Days. Hard to find memorabilia and rare items for purchase. Cole's Art Gallery, 80 Charing Cross Road, London, WC2H0BG. Call 07985 112 190. Email info@colesart.co.uk or find us on Instagram at Cole's Art Gallery. We're open Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. till late, and Sunday, 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. Cole's Art Gallery, a rare place in the heart of London's West End.
Want to advertise your company on the radio, or if you are a new or existing business that wants potential new customers to be aware of your products, well, why not advertise on LN Soul Radio, where you can increase your sales? We are an internet radio station with a difference, with over 20 years of experience. So if you want to advertise or sponsor one of the radio shows, why not call us on 07956 533 907. That's 07956 533 907. We offer competitively priced and cost-effective solutions for your business to reach out to potentially new customers. Whether your company is big or small, we cater for your company needs. If you would like a quote, the number once again is 07956 533 907. LN Soul Radio, we love Neo Soul, is a station that delivers for you.
LN Soul Radio,
the internet radio station where Neo Soul lives.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. And now I will be talking with my magic wand. Here she is. Yes. Can't hear ya. Can't hear ya. Can't hear ya. See, this is what happens. Hello. Got you. Yes.
Hiya. Hi. How are you?
I'm cool. I'm juggling. I'm glad I'm a woman. So, especially when you're live now, it just gives things a totally different perspective. So you've got to be juggling and talking and look like you're not juggling.
I know.
But it's all good. It's all part of the learning, and effectively going to plan B and C and D. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just like to introduce you to my guest. My guest is Trey Ann. I know I forgot your name earlier, but never mind. Having more of my senior moments. So with your help and well-being advice, I'm sure I'll be able to get better with that.
Yes, lovely. Brilliant. Lovely to be here.
Thank you, my dear. Looking gorgeous as always. And you've been doing your detox as well, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, been detoxing and getting my steps in.
Oh, getting your steps. Okay. I've got a watch. My son gave me one of these watches that capture data, but then he talked about downloading an app, and I thought,
yes.
Let's keep it simple.
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting one of those watches actually, but I haven't got around to it.
Okay, well, I just want things simple. Back in my day, you had a television, they had 3 channels, you just turned it on, press the channel. Now, I've got a watch, and then you got to download an app, like too much.
I know. I know.
Right, my dear, well, I'm going to hand over to you. And what have you got for us today?
Okay, I have to say, please forgive me. I've got 2 names up. My name is Trey Ann. You've also got my business partner name on because we had a workshop today and I haven't managed to change it. So yeah, I'm Trey Ann. So today I'm going to talk about the benefits of plant-based diets. Okay. So plant-based diet is basically a diet that is close to nature as possible. Some people define it as still eating chicken and fish, but generally more grains and vegetables. For me, when I tell people I'm plant-based, I don't actually eat meat or fish. So I'm literally plant-based. So vegetables, grains, beans, and things like that. Okay. So the benefits of the plant-based diet is that it is closer to nature, and so obviously you're getting whole foods. So whole foods equal whole body, holistic mind. Okay, so it can help to lower blood pressure, and also help with heart health due to plant foods not being saturated, being less saturated, containing less saturated fats than meats and things like that. So obviously your heart will be better, your heart health will be better, and also your blood pressure will be lowered as well. Juicing is very good as well for lowering your blood pressure, especially things like beetroot. That's really good. Okay, so also a plant-based diet may help to prevent type 2 diabetes, as plants are lower again in saturated fats than meat and fish. Okay, so it also may help you to live longer, as plants and grains are generally lower in calories and also lower in, again, saturated fats. So, you know, you're not being exposed to different types of diseases. Okay, so also it may help you to lose weight, because of course you're not eating fatty foods, you're eating whole foods such as fruits and vegetables and grains. So you're not going to get the excess calories there. So it can help you to lose weight. It will also help you to improve your cholesterol levels. So high cholesterol can lead to fatty deposits in your blood that can lead to heart attacks and strokes and diabetes, which is what we're obviously trying to get away from. It is something that is high in our community as well. So this is a great, you know, thing to think about. Also, a plant-based diet actually minimizes your risk of strokes by increasing your fruit and vegetables and whole grains as well. And one more, it will also helps to keep your brain strong and reverse or delay Alzheimer's and delay dementia as well.
You sold it. You've just sold it to me, because I couldn't even remember your name a few minutes ago.
Wow. So basically what I would say is, you know, it can be a challenge transitioning. I understand that. How I transitioned, I went from eating meats, then I just went on to becoming a pescatarian. So I was just eating fish and vegetables, rice and things like that. Then I transitioned into plant-based, a total plant-based diet. I'm not going to say that I'm strict every day. No, I'm not. You know, I do have crisps now and again, and I do have sweets now and again. Yeah, I do. And I do eat
that's really bad. I thought you was going to say something like, I have McDonald's on occasion, or burger.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No. You know, I do. And, you know, I don't, you know, I'm not strict on myself as some people are, but my balance is, I'd say 80% plant-based, like pure, and the rest 20% I'll have my minorities. I don't eat, as I said, I don't eat meat or fish, but you know, I do snack and things like that. But you know, at least it's something. I always say, just take baby steps. Even if you just incorporate more vegetables, more fruits into your diet, that's an absolute win, you know. And what I would say is as well, make sure you get proper counsel if you're transitioning, because you can get to a point where you're not getting enough vitamins as a plant-based. Yeah, it can be very dangerous. As in, when I say dangerous, you could be tired if your B vitamins are low, because you can't get B vitamins from naturally. You can't get a lot of it from a plant-based diet, so you do need to supplement. But you'll naturally get it from meat or fish. But the supplements work amazing. They do work, you know. So it depends what your desire is. Some people do it for the animals, because they care for animals. Some people do it for their health. Some people do it because they're literally, you know, really ill, just sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I would suggest get correct counsel, speak to a, you know, a nutritionist who knows what they're talking about. And yeah, so I definitely recommend it. There's lots of new things to have and, you know, to get into.
And how long have you been on this plant-based
I'd say
lifestyle, I should say?
Yeah, I'd say since about 2012, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, 2012, I believe I transitioned. I didn't stay pescatarian for long. I must say, I think it was just a few months. And then I was like, oh no, I can't deal with this. So, but some people do it for a few years. But yeah, sometimes I must say I do have to watch what I eat, because sometimes I do get a bit tired and I just like, okay, I think I'm low on B vitamins. So I just make sure I stock up and then I'm fine. Or iron. Sometimes I have to sit with iron. And then I feel better and then obviously I can stop. But yeah.
Okay, it's interesting you mentioned that, so I'm going to keep you on for a little longer if you've got a few more minutes.
Yeah.
But I started this thing last year because, you know, you get to a certain age and, you know, you see the lumps and bumps coming in. Someone's like, it's to do with the hormones, right?
Yes.
And I've always worked out. And I remember I was in the States last year and I've had on a dress. And yes, you may call me vain, whatever. But I had this dress and they took a picture of it and I had a belly in it. I've never really had a belly and I couldn't cope. I'm like, I don't get that.
Yes.
And it didn't matter what I did or didn't do. And I had to do some research and recognize that it was to do with my hormones.
It's
so
hormones,
then treat things differently. And I started a program with someone called Dr. Jay Tita.
Yes,
and it worked. And then you got this supplement sort of fat burning thing, and then you take this proper protein, whey protein.
Yes.
And you know, I've got my figure back. So when I'm walking past a glass mirror now, you know, my butt's not walking by about 10 minutes after. And also there is a really intense workout. It's about 15 or 20 minutes every other day. And then in between that, you're supposed to do a certain mileage by walking. But, you know, just by taking responsibility as well, because a lot of people think that, okay, I've put on this weight and there's nothing I can do about it. It's my age. No, it's not.
No.
It's always a way around things.
Definitely. Absolutely. Totally agree. Totally.
Okay, so how can people find out more about you? Do you like my new headpiece, actually? It's not a headpiece. I've got to, it keeps slipping. I've got to pretend that it's, you know, it's some sort of...
It's very suave. I do like it. Look very professional.
And especially if you put the hand there, it gives it that extra touch, you see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just trying to keep it on.
Oh, gosh, yeah. So people can find me at Inside Out Healthy Lifestyles on Facebook, and Inside Out Health and the number 2 on Instagram. So I run different programs, and this March we're doing a March clean out. So we're clearing out all the junky foods, trying to eat clean, and also steps. We're also stepping up our steps as well. Since the spring is in the air, so we're starting to walk a bit more.
Excellent. And just one last question, Treyanne. You said that you're doing a clean out, like a detox.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just enjoyed a piece of chicken before I came on air.
Yes.
So what would you say as part of that transition? Obviously, you're doing a program, but as part of that transition, if people just wanted to try things on their own, cutting out the meat, you would say, would be the first thing?
Yeah, or cutting down.
Cutting down,
because somebody who loves meat and suddenly tomorrow I'm not going to eat meat, they'll struggle. So I'd say cut down, have a few meat-free days, and also include more vegetables and salads into your diet. I know there are some people who say, oh, I don't like salads, I don't like veg. There's always some kind of veg or fruit that you like. Just focus on that. Whether it's only cucumbers you like, just eat all the cucumbers that you can or that you fancy, you know, just
a bit of meat.
Absolutely, you know, I would definitely say just cut down, have some meat-free days to start with. Just include more vegetables and fruit in your diet.
Okay, fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Treyanne from Inside Out Lifestyles. Yes, got it right this time. Yeah. And Tran comes on every week because I think like I said, it's important for us to just keep top. And like she said, it's spring now and you just want to go out there and be looking fine, but also this is going to be fine as well. So thank you very much, Treyanne.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
Weekend. I guess the other bit of chicken that I'm waiting to demolish after the show, I'm just going to feed it to my dog, right?
Yeah, and go and have an avocado on toast or something.
I don't have avocado. It's a bit brown, but yeah. All right. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for your time.
On it. Put some sea salt on it. It's nice.
Okay, okay, we'll do. Okay. If I don't like it, I'll come back to you. All right, bye. Bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so that was Treyanne from, as I said, Inside Out Lifestyles. So my next guest got someone in the waiting room. Hopefully that's the Slegendary Sister Sledge. You remember all those greats? We are family. He's the greatest dancer. I was once the greatest dancer. You would never believe it, but yes, I'm the greatest dancer. And we're also celebrating and talking a little bit about International Women's Month. So let me just admit. And whilst I'm admitting whoever this is, I'm going to play. There she is. Hello. I'm just going to play a track by Sister Sledge as I what's the word? I just need to do my plant-based food as I introduce Debbie and the other ladies, and they've got their water. Hello. I'm just going to play a track. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you that you're listening to On the Sofa with Esther on LN Soul Radio, where Neo Soul and R&B lives. And I've got to go for this track a little bit in the background. We are family.
You see us, Ma?
This way. You should slide this way a little bit to be in the center.
I'm just playing your track in the background, so just give me a moment, ladies.
Okay, we're getting set up.
Fantastic. Yeah, let's do some rocking. Feels like church tonight, doesn't it? Go ladies, go ladies. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. And with me tonight, this afternoon, it may be morning there, wherever you are across the globe, I have the Slegendary, love that, Sister Sledge. So with me is Debbie, Camille, and Tanya. I did remember, I promise. Oh, ladies, this is a real blessing. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me on my show tonight. And I've had the privilege of interviewing Sister Sledge about 2 or 3 times now. And it's always been a really, really great conversation.
So good to see you again. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes. Yeah, I'm going to turn the music down. Let's just turn the music down a little bit.
It's
fantastic.
So
there we go.
Esther, you're looking beautiful as usual.
I'm trying to keep the weight off the face.
You're looking beautiful. And it's so good to speak to you again. And
yes, thank you.
We always have great conversations with you.
We do. And before I go any further, I like to ask my rather mundane question, and I'm going to address you all individually, if I may. Tanya, gorgeous Tanya. I like to ask my guests in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or maybe a crab shell. Who is Tanya?
So Tanya has been with us for, do you want to answer
maybe
that?
8 years or a little over 8 years
A
now.
little over 8 years. And she's been with us. She was there when Joni was with us. And,
Yes.
and so she became great. We all became great friends. Joni loved her. We all love her. She's like another daughter for me. And
I feel like I just stepped into family.
She's just a dynamic performer, and she just fit right in. And she's like family. We meet family like you also.
Yes.
Who you meet family that you didn't know you had.
Absolutely.
Meet. And that's what it is with Tanya. And this is my daughter Camille. Yes.
Hi, daughter.
Hi.
Hello. I'm going to ask you the same thing as well, Camille. Who is Camille in a nutshell, in a walnut shell or a coconut shell?
I've just been singing for as long as I can remember. I always loved looking up to my mom and my aunts on stage, and I thought that what they did was so amazing. I also felt like they were philanthropists. I thought they were helping people. It made me want to really do it. So I started doing my own music when I was probably like 13 or so, and just fell in love with it. And I really love live performances. And now I have my own band, which is Phoenix Afrobeat Orchestra. The Phoenix Afrobeat Orchestra is like 14 members big. We're a really big band, and it's a wonderful time playing with all these, fun, great musicians. And then I also, of course, sing with Mom and
that
Tanya.
energy that she
It's so
has,
much
the
fun.
both of them. I have to keep up because that's dynamic on stage. Really,
We have a lot of fun on stage.
they
We have to
are-
keep up with her.
Yeah, that's the truth.
She's the one.
That's the truth.
No, but that's that dynamic that they both have in their live performances. They're seasoned artists, so we just lucked up when we all. And there are two other members of the group. That is Joni's son Thaddeus, and that is also my son David, my youngest son. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you really are, we are family, excuse the pun. And also, is he the greatest dancer?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. David is a great dancer and a great performer, great singer.
Brilliant.
And
And ladies, we're going to be talking a bit about your music, a bit about your journey. And also, this is International Women's Month. And I know that Sister Sledge are very at the forefront of voices, women and their voices of expression. Because I remember the last time I interviewed yourselves, we all sat on the couch, and this was when Joni was alive, and we all just had this great conversation about women, but not in terms of bashing men, but about the empowerment of women. And at the essence of that conversation, Debbie, was love.
Yes. The one of the greatest things that we can learn, first of all, is to love ourselves.
Yes.
And that's something that I learned from my Aunt Jerry, who was a phenomenal, and my mom, both phenomenal women. And one of her things she's always saying is, you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. That is the essence of love, and even the scripture says, love your neighbor as yourself. It's not talking about, he's not talking about two things. You have to know love so that you can give love.
But then how, for a lot of people, they say how, because obviously people go through different experiences in their lives, and their perception of love could be many different things. So how would you show someone that love, or show them how they can experience that love, Debbie?
I think that for someone who may not know that, or may not ever experience that love, they need to. And I think one of the things that we do when we don't know that love, we kind of reach out for when you come to the end, let's say you've come to the end, you've got disappointment, you reach out to God, and that's where it all starts. That's where it starts. And that love, the love of God in you, there's nothing that can overcome that. That's the greatest thing. And that's one of our mantras. Nothing is greater than love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charmaine, is it Charmaine? Having one of my moments. For you, what has it been like growing up with your mother and your aunts who have been incredibly successful? What has it been for you? And I'm not saying on the sidelines, but do you know what I mean? Just watching these incredible women, and it wasn't just about the music and the dancing, but the message, because the message of love was the thread that ran through everything whilst they were having fun, dancing and wearing all these fantastic costumes. But for you, how did you experience that as a child?
It was really empowering for me. I really thought that, in the world, you can do a good thing. And if you have any talents or any skill set, you can contribute that to doing good in the world. And I thought that was the lesson I learned growing up with my aunts and my mom singing. And they were like that on stage and off stage. They were always expressing love in different ways outside of music and being on stage too. So yeah. And really, even with my grandmother, she was, such a strong, empowered woman. And she really, really enforced that. Everything that they did, everything that we did, it was always, this re-empowering, reinforcing messages of love and kindness and having a big heart for others. And yeah, it was amazing. I'm feeling blessed. Really blessed.
And it's interesting because this whole thing of love, we can sometimes speak it, but it's not something that is spoken. It's something that is felt. It's something that's seen. It's something that oozes out of you. It's the essence of our soul. Tanya, I can see you really, understanding that. What just love the energy of this. Love it. Thank you.
It's everything. It's everything. It's a force, and it's an energy that drives us. And because there are times when various circumstances will cause us to lose touch with that, but that's what returns you back to where you're supposed to be. And love is inspiration. It just serves so many different purposes,
and it's a strength.
It is an absolute strength by itself. So
yeah,
that's why.
But you've all had that basis, though. You share about your grandmother and the strength that you got from her, and so it seems as if there's that sort of, that stairway to heaven. You had the grandmother and the great grandmother before that, and then there's the Sister Sledge, and then there's that step because you're building and you're it's like a legacy. You're leaving a legacy of love, the family. Debbie.
Yes.
Oh, good.
That was on point. That was exactly on point.
Well, yeah, and I want to say, with these strong examples, that love is what gets you through some very hard things. You can reflect back on that. That is something that's never going to go away. When you encounter the love of God, for instance, that's never going to change. It's never going to go away. And you can draw back on people that have shown that love to you through the years. I can draw on that. And you can also be an influence. I know of somebody's story where they just gave somebody a smile. They just happened to smile at somebody who was just on the street. And that
absolutely
really changed that person's life. I mean, just that beginning of that this person noticed them. They were at a very low point. This person noticed them, just smiled. And that just changed their life. That was the beginning of them turning their lives around. So it's just
Because it's that sorry, apologies. I think sometimes I cut in because there's a slight delay, so I do apologize. But then I guess with that also, it's that recognition, isn't it? It's because when you're on the street, you see people passing by all the time, and out of maybe the thousands of people that pass you on the day, one person gives you that smile, and it's acknowledging that acknowledgement. It's like, I see you, and I'm in that space. I'm honoring you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to give each other as sisters, especially.
Yes.
Yeah. We have it in us, and we need to keep always encourage each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, Debbie, I didn't ask you that question actually. Who is Debbie in a nutshell, a peanut shell, or I have to go there.
I just feel like I'm just extremely blessed to have such a legacy. I have, I mentioned my mom, my grandmother. I had many aunts who were really strong, and strong men in the family also, but they were really an example for me. I mean, my mom, she had so many children that weren't hers. They just gravitated toward her, and they called her mom. and it's happening to me, and I love it. I have so many children now, and I pray for them all the time, and I feel very, very blessed. I feel very blessed. It's just awesome. And in a nutshell, music just happens to be a vehicle through which I can pour out my love, and it's been family. So I feel very, very blessed to be able to do something I love and to be around people I love.
But then you all emit that, and when you emit love, you attract certain type of people into your space, and this. I mean, I remember when I interviewed all three of yourselves many years ago, and even though as sisters you have your ups and downs, yes, but then there was this real connection. And I know this might sound silly because you are sisters, but I think you understand where I'm coming from with this. There is that real deep connection between the both of you, and the sort of camaraderie and the little sort of jostling and the jokiness, but you can sense that energy of togetherness. And because you've been singing about it all this time, it's become you.
Oh, yes, and thank you for that. That is encouraging. It's encouraging to be able to sing a song that's real, and to also to carry that message, and to show people this is real, guys. And we are all a part of this. We're all a part of this. So there shouldn't be any walls. There shouldn't be any walls or that would break us or hold us from encouraging and loving each other, and inspiring each other.
Yeah.
I think our family got a lot of people through the quarantine. A lot of
That's
times right? A lot of people were messaging and
Instagram. I've been seeing you guys on Instagram a lot. Always on Instagram. I'm like, they pop it up all over the place.
Yeah, it's such a blessing. Such a blessing.
You can't see people in person. We got to figure it all out. So we're on that Zoom, being family,
right?
Spreading family, giving love, all over the place.
Yeah, eating chips, you're on Zoom, eating a cucumber on Zoom. Like, these guys are cool, you're having breakfast.
Tell her again, Lorraine. On Instagram a lot.
Yeah, right.
Instagram, IG, get her. You get on Instagram.
But man,
it works, especially in quarantine, right? Social media has been
it's kept us all alive.
Keeping people together.
2020.
Right, together
and,
even apart.
Yeah, sorry, apology. And Tanya, when you're up on stage and you're performing, where do you go? Where does the music take you? But also to be on stage in front of all these people that you are gifting your gift to? How does that feel?
It's so hard to describe sometimes because it's a level of joy that is beyond any other level of joy that I have felt in my life. It's spiritual because I feel like God works through me when I'm at my best on a stage, giving this to everyone who's in front of me. My favorite thing is to exchange energy with people and exchange that love. It's my favorite thing in the world, to sing something that means so much just to other people, and you can see the joy on their faces and they get excited and they give you back that energy, and then you take it to the next level and give it back to them. It goes back and forth and it takes you to a high that's just it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that's my absolute favorite thing about performing, honestly. Just it is love and it's excitement and it's the ultimate joy.
Brilliant.
And it's the ultimate joy, not because it just comes from me. It comes from God. It's a force that we, connect on and give to each other, even on stage. And you can tell we have moments where we look at each other and we're like, we're in it. Let's give this. And it makes it
like on Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So that's my favorite thing.
I just want to add that I learned early that when it's real, it's real. It's not a performance.
Right.
You're giving what your real self, you're giving what you have, and you're in that moment. So every audience is different, every show is different, every show is new, it's fresh, and that's just the best formula. That's the best medicine. Just be real and have fun. When you're relaxed and having fun, the whole audience is going to relax and have fun.
But we rehearse a lot. So we can relax and have fun.
Yeah.
Right? I
You
guess
get your mood
why
right.
rehearsal was a person.
You're pointing to me. But yeah, I believe in, knowing your craft so well that you don't have to think about it. You can just be real and have fun when you're doing a performance.
Out of the mouth of wisdom. That's the mouth of wisdom. That's the voice of wisdom there, isn't it? Listen to what your mama said now, Camille. Don't fight it.
There's a look that enforces that too. There's a look that enforces that too. Don't be slipping, because moms will look at you like, you got that note, right?
The raised eyebrow. Do you get the eyebrow raise?
If you hit a wrong note, she'll just look.
I heard that. But she won't even have to say I heard that. The eyebrow tells you. Oh, she heard that. She heard that.
I'll give a smile.
Yep.
Oh, brilliant. And Debbie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, apologies. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when I make my own mistakes, I just laugh.
Well, I'm trying to laugh with this headphone because I'm trying to keep this headset on. It's slipping down. So I'm trying to make it look very sort of like a fashion accessory. So if you notice, I keep doing this. Yeah.
It's lovely.
It's cute. It's cute.
You think so? Yeah. I was trying to dig it into my lock so it wouldn't slip down, but it's not doing that. So on occasion, just see my hand come up and I'll just do this.
Right.
And Debbie, I noticed that you had a new album, if I get it right, that came out last year, and you're singing the songs of Nina Simone.
Yes, I had the privilege and honor of doing a live performance, just honoring Nina Simone. So we chose songs from songs that she'd written and some that she made very famous, and that was such an honor. I don't know. I just stretched myself because he's one of my favorite artists, and you can't go near anything that like her. So you be yourself, and you just give honor, and you stretch yourself. So and so we have an album that came out. It's called Sledge Sing Simone, and it's
available on all platforms.
So
she won't say it.
Included Instagram.
Let's say it on Instagram again.
Check out your iTunes.
Right,
iTunes.
Spotify, everything. But it was I had the pleasure of doing it with Niels Landoki out of Denmark, out of Copenhagen, and Victor. Yes, we had excellent musicians. Francois Moultin and and Victor on the drums. Awesome. It was
Victor
just
Jones?
awesome. Yes, Victor Jones on the
Jones.
drums. It was just such a pleasure.
Oh yeah, it was good.
And why Nina Simone? Because I know she was very much an activist. She was very much, I would say, a feminist. She was very strong in her views on the rights of others, the rights of her for her own, against racism, and she really stood her ground. So what was it about her that attracted you? Was it those qualities and attributes?
Exactly those qualities and the strength, her inner strength, the strength of this woman to speak out, to be herself. And she was not intimidated by anyone that expected anything different of her. She wanted to be herself. And I admire that so much. And I encourage these ladies, and I encourage, the members of the band members, I want them to stretch themselves to their best their best self.
I'm really thankful for that.
Me too.
Truly, because she has brought out so much more out of us than we ever thought we had. And she constantly encourages that. And it really means the world, especially, not just as, as women, but certainly as women, especially as women, actually it means the world. But it also means the world personally, because we're constantly, we all really love each other. And
I was just want to get the tissues out.
It's so real. And it, we dig deep and we hold on to that because it forces us to just raise to the next level. To where it doesn't even feel forced, because it's really just a love lifting us up.
Yeah.
And so we really embrace that, and we take that.
We don't know how good we were until we started to get this push, and
this is true.
The best mentoring that you can have as a singer.
Right? They don't. I'm so proud of them. They don't. You don't know. You don't know. There's still more. There's still more. And I also want to say something else about Nina. She is an example of someone who was not afraid to speak up. And I think we're at a time in our lives where we as women need to speak up. And we need to not be afraid what comes out of our mouths, because it's important. We have stories to tell, and we have advice to give. We have wisdom to impart. And it's time, and we also have some fussing to do.
Amen.
Let's do it.
You got some what to do?
Make things better.
Fussing.
Fussing.
A strong stand. We need to take a strong stand. There are some things that we don't agree with. Let's let it be known, because changes have to be made, and that's the way they're made. We have to not be silent. We have to not be afraid to speak.
Amen.
Hallelujah. I'm feeling
Yes.
Amen. Yes. The church.
And Camille, if I may come to you. It is Camille, isn't it? Yes, sometimes I have some senior moments, so you'll have to excuse me. I need to go and get some more vitamin B. But but as you've evolved into the artist that you are now, you've just shared that you've got your own band and you're performing. Even for you, when you are on stage within your own identity, what does that feel like? Because there's your identity, and then there's the collective identity as Sister Sledge, and the three women as well, with the band. But what is it for you as an individual, and as an individual, the daughter of Debbie? Is that making sense?
Yeah. Wow, these are really good questions, by the way.
Thank you.
I really feel I used to separate the two. I used to say, oh, I'm Camille Sledge over here on stage, and then I'm a member of this group over here on one hand. And so I want to be myself in both instances now. It took me some time to get there. I didn't realize that was okay to do until, like we were talking about before, me and Tanya get this encouragement from mom that is just so uplifting, especially as a singer, because sometimes you don't want to jump too far out of the box, because you feel like if you do that, then you won't get as many jobs, you won't be able to, make a living and do your thing. And it takes that courage, that encouragement to know that who you are is okay, it's good enough, and you have more stretching and growing to do, and to do that every chance you get, So I've been able to grow.
It's a freedom.
in both instances.
What I want them to get is they're awesome. Start out knowing that you're awesome. Esther, you're awesome.
Yes.
Start out knowing it.
As well as the headphones as well.
Yes.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
We just need to say it all together. We
are awesome.
We are awesome. Wow. And anyone who's listening to this as well on Facebook Live, I'd like you to say that to yourself, because there must be many people who are going through something at this moment in time. And just talking to these ladies, they embody that awesomeness. And they're not saying that life has always been easy. But what they're saying is at the bedrock, at the platform of their lives, they've got this foundation that they can step off from. Every time that they have those moments, they can draw on that, from that well of awesomeness.
Yes, and that's for everyone. It's not that you're more than someone else, but the best you is mind blowing. So start from there, and don't be afraid to step out and stretch yourself, because there's no limit. There is none.
I love that. Every time you said about expand and stretch, I mean, Tanya, for you, where are you going to be expanding and stretching into?
Oh my goodness. I mean, just, the encouragement to be my best self, that includes writing more, and writing more freely and honestly, and and from the deepest parts of me, to share more stories, to share the love that I have, and joys and hardships. You bring that into your music, and you pour all your emotion in. So that's what the expansion for me means, is really tapping into all of that and crafting it in such a way that you can truly feed someone else's spirit with words, and with the energy that you bring vocally. I want to bring all that, like, truthfully, honestly.
Tanya is literally one of the best songwriters I've ever seen at work.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so serious, Con. She
Spotlight.
I wanted to say that. Songwriter an unmatched songwriter.
And I
vocally, background vocals, everything.
I think we're all really stretching out that way.
All of us, the group members, they are contributing such beautiful songs, and we're very excited about the music that's forthcoming. Has written some beautiful music, and not only just the music, but vocal arrangements that are just awesome. And Camille, same thing. And then David is writing, and Thaddeus is writing, and so we're all writing, and so we're very excited about the music that is coming. That's one thing that 2020 has allowed us to do, and that is to get into the studio.
Brilliant. I want to ask you if I can come and sit on your sofa.
Yes.
We're always like,
because I like all this. I like the message of expansion. And what's really beautiful about this conversation, ladies, is the importance, as Debbie said, of women having their voice and raising voice and using their voice and utilizing their voice. But also, it's the type of voice that we are raising. And we have to be mindful and conscious of what is coming out of this, because they always say that the tongue can be either a tool to uplift or to destruct. And so whatever's coming out of our mouths is that process of our own internal self-reflection, to say, okay, who am I at my core and what am I delivering? What is pouring out of me? To be aware of that.
That is awesome. You are good.
Right?
Yeah.
So good.
Yes. The scripture says, out of the mouth flows the issues of the heart. So what's in your heart, that's what's going to come out of your mouth. So let's take a look at our own hearts and see if there's sadness, what's there that's making that sad? Because we we can bring light into our hearts. Absolutely. And we can overcome that, or we can gather together with sisters of that are going to lift us up.
Absolutely.
And help us or others, So yeah,
let's make
that's
that
a very
contagious.
Strong word.
Let's make love and joy more contagious.
You can you can create your own world by what comes out of your mouth.
I want to come and sit on your sofa. I want to come sit on your sofa. You said I could create my own world.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely, Esther. We sat on yours.
Yes,
we did. And it's such a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, it is. And what's the time now? Oh, gosh, there's a time. And sort of in winding down, ladies, and I like to ask this question to all my guests is, what can you say that will inspire and encourage people, especially during these times? The pandemic has been quite hard on a lot of people. We've lost a lot of people. And some people have utilized or been forced to use this time to strip away, to come into, to explore, to express, whilst others are still struggling through it. So there's so many different things and places that people are in just because of what's happened. So what would be your words of wisdom to support people as they go through and come through?
Right. I want to say, and I'll let everybody say something. I want to say there's hidden treasures in the darkness. Look for those. Look for those, because they're, like we said before, there's a love that cannot be destroyed. And if you're looking for it, you're going to find it. Just look for it.
Yeah.
And if you can't, if you're just totally overwhelmed with darkness, find it in your search for God, because He's there. He's right there on your mouth. Just call out. He's there. And that's what I would say, because I just want to keep it short, because I know these ladies have something to say too. And
just the same.
Yeah.
Agree.
Thank you.
And it's going to be all right. It is going to be all right, because the God of the universe, He's good and He is love. It's going to be all right.
Prayer helps.
See the beauty in the struggle.
And don't be afraid to reach out, whether it's to family, friends, or directly to God. Reach out. You'll get what you need. You will definitely get what you need. Don't allow we feel stuck at certain times, but you can't stay stuck. You gotta reach out. Someone will pull you out. Something will pull you out. And if nothing else, the God's love will definitely pull you out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much for your wisdom, for your time, for the laughter. I made a decision this morning in terms of making a huge decision to step into a different place in a few months' time, and I'm going to do it. And this conversation has just inspired me, because I want to go and do cartwheels after I finish this, because I've got all this energy inside me. But just thank you for your time. And thank you for the wisdom, and thank you for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just interviewed the Slegendary, and I love that title, Slegendary Sister Sledge. Camille, Debbie and Tanya. Bless you both. Thank you
you.
all.
Thank
Good to talk to
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
And,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've literally got about 15 minutes left before the end of the show. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play another Sister Sledge track. And then I've got Lavinia Osborne, who's going to be talking to us about our financial well-being. So bless you, ladies, and thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
bye.
So what am I going to play? But I'm going to play Lost in Music because that's a little bit of Lost in Music because I'm just lost in the conversation. Get lost in music, people. Get lost in the conversation because this conversation is meaty, and we're going to be talking to Lavinia Osborne in just a moment. I'm lost in music. You're lost in music. Feel so alive. And you're able to quit your 9 to 5 after talking to Lavinia.
Out of London, UK, we are Ellen's Soul Radio, where Neo Soul lives.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, time is rapidly running out, and I have my next guest on. Lavinia, hello.
Hello there, how are you?
I am well. You've done something different with your hair.
Yeah, I'm rocking an afro today.
Oh, nice. Nice. You look well. You look really well.
Thank you. As you know, our hair is so versatile. We can rock many different styles. So yeah,
Absolutely. Looking good on you. Looking good on you, girl. Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lavinia is our financial wealth cryptocurrency lady. She's won several awards for the body of work that she does in speaking to people about building wealth. So without further ado, because I want to give you, enough time to talk about something that's really important, over to you, Lavinia.
Okay, thank you, Esther. Appreciate it. All right, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this or wherever you may be. We are a global, international community, and there's lots to share in regards to financial well-being. Many of us are dealing with the, how can I put it now, the aftermath of the pandemic. Many of us have lost jobs. Many of us are wondering how we're going to pay the bills. And unfortunately, irrelevant of a pandemic or not, these are thoughts that cross many of our minds throughout many moments in our lives. And I think there has to come to a point where you say enough is enough.
Absolutely.
When does this stop? And what do I need to do? What do I need to become in order to become bigger than my situation? What do I need to do? What do I need to become? How do I need to think to change my financial circumstances? And also the legacy of the next generation. Because how we deal with and interact with money, the truth of the matter is, it comes from our past, it comes from our parents, it comes from the last generation. Many of us are in a better position where we can earn more and we have more opportunities, and that's great. But it's what do you do with your earnings? What do you do with your blessings? How do you make it work for you? And this is what money mindfulness and financial well-being is about. It's about creating that equilibrium and understanding around money so that you can have equilibrium and that you can kind of set your emotions free from what is in your bank account. Many of us are dictated, or our moods or our emotions are dictated by what we have in the bank account. And of course, when you've got bills to pay and you're worried about the roof over your head, all of these factors are going to matter. But we have to learn how to manage those emotions whilst focusing on a bigger picture and not allowing the negativity of our finances or a situation to define who we are and what we can achieve. Okay, so it's easier said than done. So let's talk some practicalities here. Last week I talked about the 4 M's of money mindfulness. So money mindset, money mastery, money management, money mission. And I delved more into money mindset. So this week we're going to look at the second M, which is money mastery. So what is money mastery? Money mastery explores the art of adapting your behavior and emotions so that you're always positively thinking and being bigger than your situation. This takes work. It does not come overnight, but you have to start from somewhere, okay? And there's a saying that I read today that really resonated with me. It says, I don't come from a rich family, so the next generation I have to be the rich family that the next generation comes from. Yeah. So let's talk about money mastery. Let's talk about some practicalities around money mastery. How do you actually implement that in your life? Well, one of the first things you can start doing and should be doing is read upon your rights when it comes to debt, loans, and insurance. Don't just give your power away. Many of us do this all the time. They know more than me. What do I know? Who am I to question this? It's too much stress. And we just give our power away. We need to stop giving our financial power away and our personal power. So read upon your rights when it comes to debt, loans, and insurance. Create a list of 10 things you can do today to bring in a check or increase your income. Has someone dropped an opportunity? Maybe that opportunity is going to cost you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. Last year, someone told me about an opportunity that would cost me 28 pounds. And I oohed and I ahed because I was in a financial situation. But I thought, you know what, Lavinia, your situation ain't going to change if you don't do it. But your situation could change if you do it. And you know what? My financial situation did change off the back of it.
It's taking a risk, though, isn't it? It's about having the courage to take a risk, because just stepping over that line of your fear.
I say feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. It's human to feel fearful. I mean, sometimes we allow our fears to stop us from doing something, but it's an emotion, it's a feeling. You just have to push past it. And I know it's easier said than done, but you have to push past it because it's an emotion. And you have to think to yourself, well, if I don't do this thing that I'm thinking about, what will my life look like? And if I do it, then what could it look like? And you have to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And I just think we're all adults and we just have to deal with the circumstances that life throws at us. We just have to deal with it. Most of us have a 100% track record of overcoming our challenges, right? We find a way. So let's continue to believe in ourselves and find a way. So going back to the money mastery tips, practical tips. So read upon your rights. You might think, well, I don't know where to start. Or you start by Googling, being part of a community. There's so many communities out there that is about money and debt. So there's no excuses, right? If somebody says doesn't resonate with you, then find another group. Yes, it's your time, but it's also your future. It's also your life, right? And sometimes I think about our lives as stories. When we get older, if God gives us the grace to get older, we'll look back on our lives and we'll think, what decisions did I make? And even though that time was really difficult, it was also kind of fun because I grew from it, So money mastery. Attend a cash flow 101 group and learn how to play the money game so it works for you. You are the winner rather than the victim. Write down 10 things that would make you feel powerful about money, around money, or that you're grateful for financially, and then step into that positive energy and start doing it, being it, faith it until you make it. Yeah? So there must be something that you're grateful for, even if it's paying a bill. Thank you, God, I've got the money to pay the bill. I'm grateful for paying that bill. That job is not what I want to do, but I'm grateful that I have money in the bank, that it's giving me that. But better must be had. And you've got to think like that. So you appreciate what you have right now in the moment, but you think, you know, bigger than your situation, and just start working towards it step by step. Okay? So that's money mastery. And also on Saturday, the 27th of March, I'll be holding a webinar where I'm going to be sharing my journey and some of the things that I have done to help me become bigger than my situation. So if you want to know more, then Esther has the link, and click on it and register your place.
Brilliant. That was succinct, to the point. Love it. Love your points. And, you know, this is an important, I've gone on that journey as well. There's a couple of things that I'm involved that Lavinia has presented to me that I need to follow through, but I still took the chance of the leap of faith to, you know, you've got to take a risk in life. Lavinia, bless you. Thank you very much. The link will be sent around if you could go on the circle with Esther. And next time, same place, next week. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bless. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I literally have 4 minutes left before the end of the show. Just want to say thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to my guests, Lorraine Silver, Barry Collins, and the Slegendary Sister Sledge, and also Trey and Lavinia Osborne. I'd like to also say thank you to Anthony B. Williams, the manager, the host. You know, he runs things. He's the one that runs things. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I would like to encourage you to go on to www.lnsoulradio.com, onto their website, and you'll see all the other incredible shows that we have throughout the week. There's a plethora of shows. There's music, there's inspiration, there's personal development, lots of things to grab your attention. And I just like to say a big shout out to John the Boss Man Hall. I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, and he's now got me a couple of really fantastic artists for April, The Intruders, the Ebonies, and if you guys know, Tony. So over the next few weeks, as we celebrate International Women's Month, next week, who do I have with me? I've got a soul songstress, Diane Mathis. You should hear her voice. She can sing. And then a UK artist, Charmaine X. And also The Emotions, Don't Ask My Neighbors. And then the following week, I've got Michelle John, solo artist, but also the vocalist of Odyssey. And then on the second part, I will be talking to the former Supremes. And just want to say thank you to all who've watched this, who supported this show. And as we say, the show must go on. And in bowing out, my magazine, Turning Point to Your Lifestyle, Your Wellbeing, the spring issue will be out in a few weeks' time. If you want to find out more about that publication, you can go on to www.turningpointmag.com, and also check out www.esteraustinglobal.biz, where you'll see a realm of services that I offer, from voiceovers to PR and marketing. And also we have some fabulous offers on advertising and sponsorship on the radio station. So connect with me and I will put you in touch with Anthony B. Williams. On that note, 1 minute left. I have to play out with a track that I've put aside for this. And that track is Denise Williams, Gotta Be Free. Gotta be free. There's freedom in being authentic. There's freedom in being yourself. And there's a freedom in going after your dreams and your purpose. Stay in your lane, because that lane is for you, it's for nobody else. Just go after everything. And it's all about love. Peace.
It is my magic potion.
ocean for love.